you new niggas work. Maybe I'm out of touch with the rules of today's society. I'm clear on all that. But let me paint who I am before I allow another nigga to do it.
When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to BodyWork Boxing.
Welcome back. This is Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWork Boxing. And I wanted to make an introduction to a new series that I'm gonna have come out called The Aged Well Games. Much like the Hunger Games, where all the poor people were dispersed, and candidates were selected, and you had controls over here, controls over there, and somehow at the end, one or two people emerged. Much like the Hunger Games, the Aged Well Games is an era that we live in. I'm going to start this edition off calling it the Canelo edition. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I know there are a lot of fans that hitch their wagons to Canelo Alvarez. Much like I know there are a lot of fans that hitch their wagon to Deontay Wilder. They hitch their wagons to Devin Haney. They hitch their wagons to Demetrius Andrade. They hitch their wagons to all things Eddie Hearn. Right? So, just to give you an inkling, if you see the Aged Well Games, and you see any of those individuals in there, and you disagree with whatever I'm going to speak about, I advise you don't watch. You're going to view me as a hater. But to whet the appetites of all those who may be interested in my content, because I cater my content towards hardcores. This is an unbiased channel from people who just see boxing from a linear point of view, in which we love boxing and all things boxing. We don't create biases. We don't create double standards as far as rules. One person can't dye their hair and they be a faggot, and then the other person get caught twerking and it's excusable. We don't do that here. We don't really like the fact that an individual like Mario Barrios can be split screen as an avatar because of how his nose is busted, but then in the same breath we have issues where Deontay Wilder got knocked out and is scrubbed from the internet. We're an unbiased channel. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, because if Tank Davis looked like an avatar, they will put it up there. If Tank Davis got his ass knocked out like Deontay Wilder, it would still be out there. It would be no scrubbing of the internet. If Tank Davis got caught, just like when he had the issue, when he went in there and he had the issue with his baby mom, if he had got caught twerking, there would be multiple videos. Like that'll be one of the things that whenever we're taking fights, that would be one of the things that we would have to address. But I digress. This is the Aged Well Games. And what I want to talk about is one Mr. Canelo Alvarez. Now, originally, he was going to go fight Makabu, right? A cruiserweight who, at the same time, Usyk said, hey, I see you got your eyes on cruiserweight. If you ever want to come dip your toe in the water, I'd be willing to come down from heavyweight back down to cruiserweight, where I reign and rule as the supreme top dog at cruiserweight. I'll come see you. Canelo said, I don't want no smoke. No smoke. There was no aggression. There was nothing. He said nothing when it came to Usyk. Okay. So then he was going to go fight MacBook Air, and he got a lot of pushback saying, oh man, but shit, you got unfinished business with Canelo. I mean, with CHARLO. You got unfinished business with BENAVIDEZ. And then it was a Baturviev and a Bivol conversation and all that. Not to mention Morrell. You know. So, Canelo comes out and says, oh, well, we're looking at CHARLO. And the boxing fans was like, oh my gosh. Everybody from Teddy Atlas to Paulie Malignaggi, who in Teddy Atlas said CHARLO would be a step-up fight from the European bum-bashing tour that he took. Don't blame Mike. Teddy said it. But we all know it to be true. He said CHARLO would be a step-up fight. Just last week, Paulie Malignaggi on the Boxing Voice said that CHARLO is the fight that everybody pretty much wants to see. He's a 2-division weight champion. Never lost his belt to recreational drugs or missing weight. He will be actually moving up a weight class from 160 to 168, in which Canelo Alvarez actually ducked him before. A fight that many fans wanted to see. So after the news came out about him engaging in a talk with CHARLO, they say it's about $45 to $50 million for CHARLO. Immediately after that, we hear about an offer made from Eddie Hearn. Mind you, Devin Haney wants to get undisputed. The only thing standing in the way is one George Kambosos, who has 4 belts: IBF, WBA, WBO, WBC franchise, Ring Magazine. The only belt that Devin Haney has is the WBC regular. They have no money for it. Yet, a deal comes out to where Eddie Hearn has $85 million for a fight with one Dimitri Bivol. Is he a 2-division weight champion? What has he done to deserve Canelo Alvarez? And the secondary fight being the culmination of a trilogy between Canelo Alvarez and his side chick in Triple G, who I always say he can hit whenever he wants. So then rumors come out say that Canelo comes out and said, hey man, you know, the offer hasn't been signed, you know, back off guys, you know, saying, hey you guys, back off you guys. So I'm like, well, didn't we see this when Caleb Plant in the deal with Caleb Plant, man, didn't we see this? We had a huge offer. $40 million Caleb Plant gets 10 million. Not the same energy that everybody is claiming when it comes to Errol Spence when he's about to get his third belt. But I digress. Oh, Caleb Plant just need to just sign the deal. You just need to come on in. You need to stop acting like a little girl. He needs to fight Canelo Alvarez. Boxing Ego came out recently and actually showed every opponent on the European, let's say the European tour, because calling any boxer a bum is just oh so uncivilized. But Boxing Ego came out and gave the whole rundown to every opponent who Canelo Alvarez has faced in their adversity, from inactivity in Billy Joe Saunders, Liam, Callum Smith, his former sparring partner, even down at the point in time, even down to Caleb Plant when he actually fought. All this controversy, only for Canelo and his team to be witnessed as entertaining a fight between Bivol and Triple G above CHARLO and David Benavidez, who I call BENAVIDEZ. And I always question, I say, hey man, if CHARLO is such low-hanging fruit, why not go pick that cherry? It's odd that David Benavidez actually had his belt removed before Canelo garnered all of this. I'm about to go get the belts. And go get the belt from the guy who was given the belt when David Benavidez got stripped. But I'm often regarded as a hater. I'm often regarded as somebody who don't know about boxing. And I say, much like Christopher Columbus discovered America, and how we all know that's not true, except for that does not exempt them from teaching that to the youth. It's not going to age very well. I say that all the time. Like, many of the things that Canelo Alvarez it comes down to him making moves, saying, oh, I moved from this division to that division to cruiserweight to mega heavyweight in an effort to, in the history books, when it goes down and everybody looks at it, it's a plea of action to where his actions look like it's going to age well. Well, Mr. Canelo Alvarez, I'm not even going to speak on your past transgressions. But what I will do is speak on the fact that the moves that you are making, sir, there are responsible journalists who are not going to allow these moves to be looked at as upon like gigantic moves. What you're doing, sir, is you're making moves that's going to make it look like it's going to age very well. However, just like Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, you moving up to cruiserweight, you going up to 175, you avoiding Usyk when he said he would meet you at cruiserweight, and not going up to see that man. You avoiding CHARLO getting the franchise belt and moving out of the division. You waiting until David Benavidez got stripped of his belt. None of those things will age well because of a simple concept called responsible journalism, sir. You make all the moves that you want, and you can run, but you can't hide. And if these guys, these lower guys, because it's clear it's not about money, When PBC come back and double up with an offer to fight JERMALL CHARLO and David BENAVIDEZ for more than $100 million, when DAZN was offering you 85, that means it's not about the money. How tell you I say, if it ain't about the money, it's not about the money. This, sir, will not age well. You heard it here first in the first series of the Age Well Games. I have plenty more to come. BodyWork.
Alright, I believe you, but my tummy don't. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
My word, and I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it get down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all that.
You jump outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so